Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Live in the Classroom here at Clear Lake High School. Today we're in Miss Katie Allen's 10th grade English class. Miss Allen, thanks so much for having us today.
Yeah.
We're excited. Can you give us a little overview of what you guys are working on today?
Yes, so today we are working on analyzing specifically a poem using the Soapstone Strategy, which is just a fancy acronym for essentially looking at the different elements of the poem and then, deconstructing it, putting it back together, looking at the meaning of the work as a whole.
And so what part of the lesson are you going to be breaking down first? I know that there's different stations. Can you run through that for us?
Sure, yeah. So Soapstone stands for speaker, occasion, audience, technique, tone, subject, purpose. And so basically we're going to start by looking at the poem, just kind of taking some initial observations, and then the students will be going through the different stations and talking amongst themselves, making some distinctions, and then we'll kind of come back together, whole class, and put it all back together again.
And you were telling me a little bit ago that poetry is something that you guys might not spend a whole lot of time on. So is this your way of doing that, being able to really look at, analyze it deeper?
A lot of times there's a misconception that a poem is going to be easier in a sense because it's shorter, but a lot of times they're more difficult because there's those deeper layers of meaning. And so by deconstructing it this way and spending the whole class period on a poem, it's really helping the students kind of look through those different layers so they can come to some deeper conclusions about the meaning.
All right, well, this is our first English class that we've gone into live in the classroom,
awesome.
So we're excited to see what you guys do. So take it over.
Okay, thanks. All right, guys, hopefully you grabbed a handout on your way in. I would like for you to grab a highlighter from the buckets in the center. And so in front of you, you should have two handouts. So one is your little review over Soapstone, which I know we've already looked at. You have one in your notebook, but I just wanted you to have it handy today. And then the other one is a copy of the poem, Legal Alien by Pat Mora. And so you probably already heard me talking about what our goal, what our objective is today. But really briefly, we're going to be analyzing this poem using Soapstone, but we're going to kind of deconstruct it and break it down into little stations, okay? So you'll know that you've been successful when you have connected with your group and you've had some good discussions in your smaller groups, and then we come back together, whole group, and we talk about the meaning of the work as a whole, okay? Your language goal is that you can talk about important elements in a poem. Ask questions of the text, interact with it, ask each other, why do we think she said this? Why is this important? Why is this sticking out to us? Okay? You want to have those discussions with one another, and your character goal is to demonstrate responsibility by engaging with that group, right? Don't be a passive bystander, talk with your peers, and contribute. Okay, so we're going to read through the poem, and you're going to use a highlighter, and as I read it to you, I just want you to mark anything that stands out to you. So anything that seems unique or interesting, and after I finish reading it, I'm going to ask for a couple volunteers. I'm not going to ask you to tell me what it means or to interpret it. I just want you to tell me something that you highlighted, that you thought was interesting or different, okay? So, let's look at this together. Legal Alien by Pat Mora. Bilingual, bicultural, able to slip from how's life to me están volviendo loca. Able to sit in a paneled office, drafting memos in smooth English, able to order in fluent Spanish at a Mexican restaurant. American, but hyphenated. Viewed by Anglos as perhaps exotic, perhaps inferior, definitely different. Viewed by Mexicans as alien. Their eyes say, you may speak Spanish, but you're not like me. An American to Mexicans, a Mexican to Americans, a handy token, sliding back and forth between the fringes of both worlds, by smiling, by masking the discomfort of being prejudged bilaterally. All right, can I have a volunteer just tell me something you highlighted? Again, you don't have to interpret it, you don't have to tell me what it means, just something that stood out to you as interesting. Kojo.
American to Mexicans, and a Mexican to Americans.
Okay, thank you. Newmeyer.
Of being prejudged bilaterally.
Okay. Over here.
The bilingual and bicultural at the beginning, then the bilateral.
Yes, yes. This prefix bi, which, does anybody want to take a stab? What does it mean? Two, right? Excellent. Okay, one more. Yeah, go for it, Jennifer.
American, but hyphenated.
American, but hyphenated. So real quick, what is a hyphen? A dash. And what is its purpose in English? Like, what is its purpose in language? Connect two things. Okay, so we take two words and we connect them, like 20 and 2, right? When we're writing it out longhand, we're connecting them and making one word where there was two. Okay, so that's probably going to be pretty important. Really quickly, just so you have the translation, me están volviendo loca means they're driving me crazy in Spanish. Okay, so if you want to write that down, they are driving me crazy. So we have this person working in an office saying they're driving me crazy in Spanish. Okay, last thing real quick before we break out into groups, the title. What is the definition of alien?
Something
Foreign, okay? It's not necessarily, although we usually use the word alien with, people from, or beings that we imagine are in outer space, right? The word alien just means something foreign. Isn't supposed to be there, okay? And what about the word legal? What is that definition?
In this context, it means that they're here legally and they're like, they're a part of the American culture, but legally in a sense is like they're supposed to be here, I guess.
Okay, so you're already going deep down into inference, which is good. But what is the legal or the definition of legal? Yeah. Formal. Okay. Anybody want to add to that? What does illegal mean? Not allowed. So legal means under the law, right? Or within the law. Okay. So, as Kojo is already alluding to, you have someone that's legal, but they also are foreign, okay? And we're putting those together. So it's kind of a little bit of a paradox, the way, like we don't normally see those two terms together, do you? You normally see illegal alien, those two words put together, right? So here we have legal alien, okay? So just something interesting to be thinking about. All right, so as we go into our stations, let me just give you some directions, okay? So at your table in the bucket, there is a unique color sticky note. So grab those out. Every table has a different color. Okay? And so basically you're going to start at the big sticky note that's closest to you. So you guys can start at, you guys can start right here, and then you guys can start at occasion. Okay? And so we'll start this one closest to you. You guys can start over with imagery, and you guys can start with this one right here. Okay? So you're going to discuss the element while you're standing there, and then you're going to write a distinction, okay? Use text evidence. So tell me something that you're noticing in the poem. So this one is about audience, right? The intended audience. It looks a lot like speaker, but this one is who is she writing to, right? So you don't have to answer all 4 questions, but pick a question, kind of talk about it, write that distinction on a sticky note, and then put it on here, and then every 3 minutes we're going to move to the next one, okay? You won't get to all 6. We're only going to go to 4. We're going to move clockwise this way, okay? But 2 things that are really important. First of all, when you get to a poster and there's other sticky notes on it, quickly glance at those, because I don't want 4 sticky notes of the same thing, right? I want you to look at the information that's already there, and I want you to contribute something new. And then the second thing is use text evidence. As much as possible, use text evidence, okay? Because that's where we're going to come back to. We're going to start putting those text pieces together, okay? Questions before we get up and move? No? Okay, I'll set a timer, 3 minutes, and then I'll let you know when to rotate, and I'll kind of be roaming and listening to your conversations. So yeah, you guys can start right here, and they'll start right there.
No. Okay, so for a negative tone, you could say the me está viendo loca, they're driving me crazy. So it's slipping from a house life to.
So you don't have to answer all 3. You can just pick one. Okay? So, yeah, what are some key terms in that poem?
She can shift her thinking very easily.
In Spanish or in English?
Yeah, it's in English, but right in parentheses, it's Spanish.
think it's probably here.
Yeah, so what does she hear?
You're different. Well, specifically from
And then
Spanish or the Mexicans.
you exotic and
You're not like me.
So their eyes say, so you could put it in visual or you could put it in here, like she's hearing what they say in her mind's eye, right? So either way, it would be good.
like what their expressions are.
So you can write that text evidence on a sticky note and then just add it to the... So why, Leia, why do you think it might be important that she doesn't say, like, she says their eyes say, and then she's interpreting their judgment? Like, why their eyes say versus saying, like, they're not saying it out loud to her.
I think maybe it's more almost personal to think that, you know, it's what they're like. I don't know. I don't really know how to explain.
That's okay. Look at the bottom. Look at the last couple lines on the bottom. Like, how could we connect this right here to the bottom? What does she feel down here?
I think so. Like being prejudged.
Yeah. So how does that connect to the imagery that they're writing down to go here?
Well, she maybe because she didn't do anything to them, and like just seeing that they already have an opinion on her without actually.
Good. Yeah, exactly. And what does she think they're basing that opinion on?
The way she looks.
Or what else?
The way she acts, the way she speaks.
Yes.
Everything.
Yes. Very good. Excellent. Okay, y'all going to be ready to move in a second? Okay, guys, finish your sticky note. And we're going to remove in 10 seconds. All right, go ahead and rotate. Go ahead and rotate so we're going this way. Yep, so you guys will go to that one.
Well, let's take a peek at what the other people said.
There you go, Audrey. Good job. Yes. What did they say? What did they say?
Her audience are people who are also bicultural. She mentions critique culture, allowing those who are also bicultural to relate, even when those those that aren't.
Okay. Well, let's play devil's advocate here. So that's good, but who else could this be to?
Maybe people that are like on one side of it to like educate them about the experiences of like people that have to face like both cultures. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean, like educate
And maybe open their eyes to see what it's like in their shoes. And
Yeah.
the struggles that it comes
Okay, excellent. So now look for text evidence. Where you guys, that's a great inference, but where are you getting that from?
like a handy token in Americans to Mexicans.
Excellent. So what is a handy token? What could that possibly mean?
Like a back and forth, kind of like trading between each other.
Good, okay. Good. Yeah, cashing in, right? So she's bilingual, and it seems like she's valued in a sense. She recognizes that she's valuable, at least in an office setting, right? But perhaps, you see this break right here by smiling, by masking the discomfort. So all of this is about her outer world, and all of this is about her inner world.
It says like
Right.
by smiling, by masking, and then they have by laughing. That's interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Wherever. Well, so
Put it on the
what do they care about? Which question are you answering?
like background.
Could be. Yeah.
and people with a different
Yeah.
background.
Good. Okay. Add some text evidence.
Have you ever told people are tortured that are bicultural?
She feels that people should realize how negatively viewed by cultural people.
How's it going over here, Kojo? What are you adding?
We're adding what do they think about? So they're saying they think that they're valued from both sides, but
Okay.
they still obviously go through some prejudices from both
Yes.
sides as well.
Good.
So she thinks that she wants to be a part of both communities,
Good.
but she knows that there has to be some distinguishing between these two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does she? So unlike the text we read yesterday, right, where that woman was also bicultural, but as a child she despised one of the cultures, like she only wanted to fit into one. How is this poem different?
She wants to be a part of both.
She's proud of it.
Proud of being.
Yeah.
Excellent.
But
Good.
she feels alienated because
Yeah.
either side sees her
Either
into
side
what
sees
she
her.
wants.
Perfect. Very good.
Absolutely.
All right. We're going to rotate one last time. Rotate, rotate. Excuse me, Maddie. I'm going to start the... Careful. Okay. So when you're done, you guys are going to go to that one over there. Okay? Huh?
Isn't it two more?
Well, yeah, we'll see. They only take for so long, and then viewership goes down, so I want to get back to whole group where we can talk.
There's a lot of negative more so than positive, so I think maybe try to find the positive. You can do, yeah, part you're
Oh, what are you using?
talking about where she's kind of but there's like nothing in it. You can
Okay.
restyle it.
Okay.
Despite the fact that they're kind of judged. The fact that she can transition into different languages, do things in other cultures.
What are we adding? Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay, good. Now, why are you putting it in feel?
Feels that she's being viewed that way, as
Okay.
opposed to.
Okay. I like it.
I thought it was yeah. I thought it was because they feel that
You did too. Are you actually doing two? Because he wants to get the English first.
Okay. Okay, they're good. All right. What did we come up with over here?
Repetition.
Ooh. It's not juxtaposition, but I like it because that's really important. And you picked something really good. It's fine. You picked a really good thing to talk about. Yeah. So you stick with that. There's a lot more than what I have laid out, right? So there's so much. 30 more seconds, and then we're going to move to our last station.
Is there like a certain word that describes like a tone or
Like opposite words. So Mexico and Mexican are like opposition. To Mexican.
Yeah, juxtaposition. Yeah, which is the next station you're going to go to. So you could save it for that. Yeah, but what did you guys add here?
What choices do they have to make? They have to decide what they want to show to each culture because they want to try to fit in with that culture
Yes.
as much as they can.
Good. Very good. Yeah. Okay. Last station, ladies and gents. Moving clockwise. I didn't get to talk with this group yet.
Think about what they care about, then versus now, and background experiences.
So you don't have to do all of them. You can pick one.
we just have to explain how.
But I feel like this is all kind of in the same like time frame.
Same
It doesn't
time.
talk about a change over time.
Same time frame, so you're right. So I like how you're contrasting it with yesterday's, right? Yesterday you have this big change in time frame. that person, when she was younger, she really despised the one culture, right? Do you get the sense? How do you feel that this woman feels about her two cultures?
She like is very comfortable with both her cultures because she talks about like her fluence with
Yes.
stuff like that.
Yes,
But
she.
other people make her uncomfortable.
Right, exactly. So she's proud of the fact that she's both. But then you see what Kylie was pointing out is that there's the shift that happens like right before, like right at line 19. So everything before line 19 is about what's happening around her. But you get to those last 4 or 5 lines and we find out, yes. And so the fringes of both worlds could mean not only Mexican American, but it could also mean outside, inside. Right? That my outside world is so disjointed from my inside world.
Maybe the world around her.
Yeah.
That would be a good one.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
It's mainly, most of the time, except until 19, it's mainly about how the world around her is affecting her. And then she talks about what's happening inside. Okay.
Very good.
So we talk about how the world around her is what's making her uncomfortable with her culture, even though she's proud of it.
Sorry. What you?
We're putting masking precepts bilaterally.
Okay, good. Good, I like it. Okay, we're finishing up your last sticky notes.
So my weight, like always, I got 3rd place.
All right, if you're done, go ahead and head back to your seats. All right. So let's unpack this a little bit here, or really bring all the pieces back together is really what we're doing. So first, I just kind of want to touch on, there's 2 things we did not see in a poster. So if you look at your soapstone, there's 2 of the things in the acronym, 2 of the elements that were not a poster. What were they? Subject, okay, and purpose. So out to the side, I want you to do like a little box and write author's purpose. Okay? Now, subject is pretty easy, right? Subject is just the topic. That's why I didn't have a poster on it, right? So we've got being bicultural. Okay? Now, yesterday we read a text about, The Struggle to Be an All-American Girl by Elizabeth Wong. And in that text, you had an older narrator, a mature adult, who was looking back on her childhood and growing up and grappling with these 2 different cultures. And she despised one of those cultures as a child. And now as an adult, she regrets not being involved with both, right? So same subject, right? Being multicultural, being bicultural. But today, the purpose and the message very different, right? How is today's speaker different from yesterday's speaker? Talk at your table real quick. How is today's speaker different from yesterday's speaker?
Today's speaker is more like at a young age, more accepting of her culture because she's more. Yeah, she only wanted to be an American, and so later she realized eventually it's worth being both cultures.
Well, is her tone? Think about the tone though. Is her tone one of sympathy? Because he's suggesting that it's other people who are bicultural, that this is in order to help them feel seen and heard. But is her tone one of sympathizing? What is it?
More like putting it out there what other people feel.
feel about.
Good. Okay, so keeping that tone in mind, who might that intended audience be?
Those who think that wouldn't matter, and telling them like, well, this is what y'all do to me. This is what it is.
Okay, so the purpose might be more to build awareness, is what I'm hearing, right? Okay, good. Okay, let me hear from a couple different tables. So over here in New York, can somebody share with me how is today's speaker different from yesterday's speaker?
Instead of rejecting her other culture, she embraces it and like it's a part of her daily life.
Okay, excellent, very good. Let's add on to that. That's a great, great start, Aaron. Let's have over here at Tokyo.
She embraces each culture more and thinks of them as equals, whereas yesterday's the speaker believed that one was better than the other.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, for most of her life. And then she got to the end and she regretted that. Yeah, excellent. Okay, so let's look down here, line 19. Okay, so this is right after the line about the fringes of both worlds. And I want you to draw a big line. Now, in poetry, very often, we always have this shift that happens, okay? We call it a tone shift, or it could be an idea shift. So when that shift happens, that's really, really important to pay attention to. So at this table, we kind of talked about this. What is happening up above that shift?
She's kind of talking about how like her culture feels to her, and so at the very end, it kind of talks about how the world is making her feel about her culture. It's kind
Excellent.
of external before line 19 and internal after 19.
Good.
And we were also saying that in yesterday's poem, she was kind of being forced into her culture. Possibly could have caused her to resent her culture. Thus, she has more freedom to choose how she wants to live.
Good, good, excellent. I love that. Okay, so sliding between the fringes of both worlds, that could mean sliding between the two worlds of the two different cultures, but it could also mean how the exterior, as Sydney pointed out, how the exterior world, how her world around her views her versus how she feels inside. So we've established she enjoys both cultures, she has equal respect for both cultures, and it's the cultures that she feels are ostracizing her, right? So keep that in mind, okay, when we're thinking about audience, when we're thinking about purpose. So what do you think her purpose is in sharing this very sentimental poem with us? Talk at your tables real quick.
It's like to share maybe like the struggles she faces from being as well as
Yeah, I agree. Or help people like visualize how it's like in her shoes and like being bicultural and the struggles of that and like the prejudgment, like how it makes her feel.
Or maybe even the people that like do judge her culture. Like kind of like teach them like the stuff she like goes through.
Yeah, what did you write on the sticky note?
To educate people that are in like one uniform culture, so they don't, so like they're educated about her life, and then maybe even like if like certain people that do judge her for her culture, like to inform them about her experiences, so they don't judge her in the future, or like judge people of mixed cultures in the future.
Yeah, okay, good. I like it a lot. You can, if you want, in your notes on the side. All right, finish your conversation. Okay, so I'm going to call on two tables over here. So we just had a conversation a few minutes ago about tone. Can you guys share what we talked about with tone?
That the tone for this piece is she's trying to put out there what people make her feel and what they say to her to put her experience out into the world. And that's very matter of fact.
Okay, so we're going to put matter of fact, we're going to put confident. There's, a lot of different words we could go through to find the exact perfect one, but what did we say we thought the tone was not?
Sympathizing.
Yes. Okay. So if we have a tone that's a little more confident, authoritative, sharing, over here, can you guys tell me what you wrote for audience?
We talked about how, like, yes, this may be directed at people that are in both cultures, but it's also meant for people who are in one uniform culture, and informing them about the like author and other like mixed cultural people's like experiences, as well as educating them so they don't try to like fit people that are in both cultures into like certain boxes and like let them like express themselves.
Excellent. So Miriam already went into purpose, which purpose is at the core, right? There are so many different factors that we're having to consider to really, truly drill down to what her purpose is, okay? Because when we first read it on the onset, it's like, oh, she's sharing with us so that, you know, other people who are bicultural can feel comforted as well. But when we really break it down and we're looking at the tone and we're looking at the examples that she gives and we're looking at, you know, taking those factors into consideration about who the specific audience is, now, what do you think the purpose is? The primary purpose, I should say.
To inform cultural people about the struggles of being multicultural and how they could avoid making the situation uncomfortable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
In line 12 and 13, it like points out what Kojo was saying, how maybe sometimes the single cultural people's views like kind of rub off the wrong way on people of culture.
Yeah. So it's building empathy there. Yeah. Excellent. Okay, now, last thing that we need to do is, because here's the deal. If we just say, well, here's the purpose, and we walk away from it, that's as silly as if we were the lawyer and we walked into a courtroom and we said, Your Honor, my client is innocent, and we walked out. Right? Without arguing our case. So, you have all these amazing thoughts, all these amazing inferences. What was some of the text evidence that you put on the sticky notes? Like, how can we build an argument here? Somebody give me some good text evidence here. Yes?
You could say in line 20 and 21 where it says masking the discomfort and being prejudged. You can see that in this area she's feeling discomfort from being put into one category or to not be accepted by one category. So she feels discomfort and masks it with a smile.
Very good. And that word prejudge, it's not just judged, it's prejudged. Okay, which is really important. Excellent. Okay, give me two more. You guys wrote a lot of text evidence down. So what are some that we could put as contributors to figuring out purpose?
There I say you may speak Spanish, but you're not likely. In 12, 13.
Okay. Tell me why that's significant.
Because even though she is Mexican American and most likely lives in a Spanish household, she is still not viewed as Mexican by people of the same culture.
Perfect. I love it. And there I say, it's not that they're saying it out loud to her. Right? Nobody's telling her that face to face. She sees it in their eyes. And that's another All right, guys, we've been live in the classroom here at Katie Allen's English class in 10th grade. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll check in later.